Y'all doing? Welcome to Woodshed Antics. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been around a while and you continue to show up and support the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Helps grow the channel and allows me to keep chasing the stream. Day 2 of the table build. Today we're going to go over table legs. We're going to go over putting that all together, cutting it all up, how I see things, the way I like to do stuff. It's just a simple build, right? And we're going to go over that today. I'm going to show you first. I've cut a few of these feet, and I'm going to double them up, but we're just making a simple dado in here, a rabbet, and then making sure it's tight, pinning them together. We're going to double them up because of the epoxy tables are pretty heavy, but we're going to get started on this. I know it's been a minute. I just got back from an epic vacation. We had a lot of fun, and we're going to go over that, but I got to keep busy, so stay with me. Okay, we're going to see how all this goes together. I've cut a couple of these. Got 2 feet. That one goes to that one. Other 2 are over here. We're just going to see how everything lines up. Yep. Looking pretty good so far. Looks like that one needs to drop down a hair more. Well, this one looks good as far as the depth. Pretty snug. It's this one. Needs to go down just not much more than the thickness of a blade. Beautiful. So that's that. I have a total of 4 of these that are going to make up the legs. These get put together, glued and clamped. Again, the epoxy tables are pretty heavy, so we're going to have to use 2. I like to use 2 pieces of this white oak. One, you can get away with it. I just like the look of doubling it up. I also I think that's going to look good. We have another one down here. The other set. Those will get, oh, got that backwards. Those will get clamped together. We'll get everything glued up, but we'll show you these first set of table legs. There's those. So one of the things that I always like is to, I have a vision in my head, but I always am not the best at maybe being able to conceptualize that on a piece of paper. I'd rather look at it. This is going to go across the top here. And I was going to dado this in between the 2 boards, which I still could do. I'm just almost thinking that if I drop it to the outside, drop that in so it carries on top of this. That weight's directly bearing on top of one. I think I get a better load distribution. I'm trying to picture this being in the center, which I guess would be fine as well. And maybe that's, well, maybe that's what I'll do. I'm gonna actually dado the inside of these out here, something along those lines, so this carries in between the two. Just to visualize, that's going to be a continuous leg up. That'll be in between the two. I think that's the best. I think that's the best look that we're going to go for right now. So I'll get these tore down. We'll get this laid out. I'll show you what I'm up to. So it probably took me way too long to find this bit right here. And you know, I have children, so I blame it on the children every time. Even though they never come in my shop, it's always their fault when there's a tool missing. So I found it. You know, the one thing I would love to be is organized, but it's never going to happen. So we'll just keep blaming it on the kids for now. And the waste of time is never my fault. But with that said, we're back to progress. Was this the way I wanted to go with these? It is. It is, it is, it is. It's actually the opposite of the way I wanted to go. That's going to get screwed up into the table. That's going to get a reverse screw in between this way. Whew. We'll line that back up again. That sucked. Right there in between. And we'll go ahead and plug those holes as well, but try to hide as much as the joinery as possible. So this is going to get one here, one here, one here, one here. We'll flip this over and put one right down the middle. You gotta love drilling hardwood. And that's that. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get all this screwed together, get an eyeball on it, make sure it fits good. Then I'll pull it all back apart, sand everything down, finish pieces individually, and then start putting it back together. I'll keep you in the loop with that process, but everything's cut. It just needs to be cleaned up. So that's what we're doing now. So. Okay, so this has had 2 coats of spar urethane. I'll spin this around, show you what I'm talking about. This is an exterior grade polyurethane. The reason why we use an exterior grade is because it has the UV inhibitors for the table to allow it to not yellow in the sunlight. If you leave the epoxy is clear, but if it gets in sunlight and where it's in a uncontrolled atmosphere, I don't know where 100% where this table is going to be placed. It's going to be placed in front of a window where it's going to see a lot of sunlight. I don't know. It's not going in my house. Again, it's for a customer, so I'm going to do the best that I can to ensure that this lasts. Now, this is just 220 grit on my palm sander. I've wiped it down to try to get some of that dust off. I've sanded the edges and the top so I can get some mechanical cohesion. This says it's rubbing alcohol. It doesn't matter if it's rubbing alcohol or if it's Isperil, or this is denatured alcohol in this bottle. I just keep reusing the bottle because I buy the denatured alcohol in a can, and it's not very convenient, so to speak, to use in a can. So just transfer it into those little bottles. All I'm doing here is just wiping all of that sanding dust down off the table. Make sure I have as clean a surface as I can when I go to place this final coat. The last coat I did had 2 brush hairs in it, which I thought I'd happily avoided, but I got a couple in there. So everything's wiped down good. You can see it's still a little foggy from the sanding, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Get a good chemical bond on that. Thought I'd open this lid. Now we're just going to take a little bit of this spar urethane. Probably need to grab a new paintbrush. I'm going to use this stir stick. I've applied 2 other coats. This has been stirred pretty good previously, so it's not going to take a lot to get this mixed up. I'll go grab another brush real quick. Stay with me. So it's not going to take a ton because it's been, again, previously sealed twice before. And I'm going to go with about like that. Again, this is just a hunch, right? I'm not certain. I might need more. I might need less. It's just ballpark where I'm going with it. Clean this off good so I can get this lid back on it real quick. If you don't clean it off, it like hydraulically locks. It doesn't allow the lid to seal back down. At $80 a can, you want to make sure it's sealed up good. Now I'm going to just take a peek here. Looks like I've got about 6 ounces of polyurethane, and I want to add 10%. Today we're working on this table. We're putting the final coat on it, and it's different. The final coat is a little different than every other coat that we put on, so I figured I'd just talk about it just briefly, show you what it looks like to apply, and then we'll show you the finished project because we're just about. So to thin varathane or urethane down, the spar urethane, you're going to use paint thinner, and it's about 10-to-1. So I have about 7 ounces. I'm going to use about an ounce of paint thinner into this polyurethane. And then I'm going to give this a little mix. And it's basically going to thin this down so that it lays down a lot better. When I lay down the urethane, so here's the method in this madness. You've got to lay it down in the original thickness. So as the consistency that it comes out of the can to get the UV protection. So I've put 3 coats of urethane on here at the manufacturer's recommended viscosity as it comes in the can. That's where you're going to get all the protection from. The problem with that is it's nearly impossible to put down without having bubbles and these inconsistencies because it's so thick. So this final coat, I'm going to thin down and try to get it to lay down without causing these air bubbles and all the other issues that come along with it. So that's why we're thinning it. And what I'm going to do is brush a little piece down here, and I'm going to watch it to see if it's going to actually lay down without bubbles. If it does not lay down without bubbles, I'm going to thin it down just a little bit more. And right now, everything is looking good. I'm not seeing a major amount. Another strategy is you can get a clean rag and try to wipe a layer on, which is fine too. I might put another light amount in here. I'm going to put just another splash of mineral spirits in that and thin it down just a touch more. And this is the problem with the spar urethanes, is they can be pretty difficult to apply because of the viscosities of them. If you can get the viscosity worked out, I actually spray this thinned a little bit out of an HVLP when I can get outside, when the temperature's supported outside. Right now it's the 6th of December. It is not going to be spraying weather, so I'm back to trying to rub or brush a finish on, and that's what we're trying to do today. So we'll go ahead. I'll get this laid down, and then I'll bring you back. I'll throw this in time lapse so you can watch to see this is, exactly what I'm doing. This is the extent of it. So I'll be right back with you. Just stick around. Okay, so here we are, and we've got this coat, and it's fairly uniform. There are a few little bubbles, but nothing like it is when you don't thin it. But again, we needed that thicker build up to protect and provide the UV protection. All of the under this has all been coated with epoxy. It's pretty shiny. I like it glossy like this. I think it's prettier, and it also offers a lot of protection. So there we are. The last thing that this table needs is the feet. I have a couple of them right here. They've been drilled, tapped. These are ready to drop in as soon as this dries. We've got a lot of projects going. One of the downfalls of doing this and why we're not pumping out a lot of videos at the moment is because I come and coat this and then it has to sit in my shop for a day, 24 hours, and allow it to cure before I can go making any more messes. So here's a look at the underside of the table. We have a couple shots of this. We'll show you a shot of the top of the table. This is a really fun project to build, and it was really exciting to be able to deliver it to the customer just before Christmas and to surprise his wife. And that's the shot of it in the home. Thanks for watching.